Kenzy Knoxx and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will be painting this beautiful birch tree painting where it'll have some cardinals sitting on the branches, and I thought this would just be festive for coming Christmas times and fall easing into winter and whatnot. And I'm aiming to paint this painting under 20 minutes, preferably below 15, but 15 to 20 minutes give or take. So let's just jump in and get started. My whole goal is to paint a birch tree over here with a birch tree here, and then another little one over here, and then just dabble in some cardinals real quick and off of the branches. So it should be fairly easy, not too bad. Let's start out with a blend, our background. So we're going to blend from light to dark, and we're going to do that with our phthalo blue, some white. So go ahead and put those on your palette, and some phthalo green, and these are all beautiful colors. Phthalo blue and phthalo green mixed together will make a turquoisey beautiful color, and that's what we're kind of aiming for. So let's see if it does as expected. Okay, so once you have your phthalo blue and phthalo green down on your palette, we're going to mix up a little bit. The palette should look like this. So you're going to mix up a little bit of the phthalo green with the phthalo blue, and you should get a nice, beautiful turquoise color. I don't know if you can see how beautiful that is, but it's real beautiful. So you're going to make more of that. And we can start at the bottom and move up. That's probably the easiest way. So go ahead and put that at the bottom of your canvas. And that's beautiful, isn't it? Isn't that a gorgeous color? Gosh, I want to I don't even know. This is one of my favorite colors, though. It's like this sea green. And you can go a little bit cooler. You can go on, add a little more blue, add a little more, oops, I got a little dry thing on my canvas. You can add a little more green, whatever your little heart desires. Okay, we're going to bring that up, continuing to bring that up. I'm going to slowly add in some white. So just grab that white on your dirty brush and blend that in. Now we're going up and add some white to your brush. I'm going to pick up some more color, just a little bit. Blend that out. Get your brush a little wet. Pick up a little bit more color. We want this to be a little bit more full of color, and keep blending up. And this might be a good time to get your spray bottle out if your paint is not gliding on your canvas like you would like or as expected. You can use a spray bottle, and that should make it glide a little bit easier. And as we're going up, try not to trail back like I'm doing right now. I was just missing some spots, but we want to just grab some white and use our dirty brush for filling in the color. And even still, you might find that it's too dark. Like mine, it looks the same all the way up. So I'm going to need to grab more white to make that lightest. And we're breaking this up into about thirds. So like about a third, about a third. I see paint in these little spots here. And if you have a blow dryer and you're done, you can go ahead and blow dry this off. And if not, if you have a heat gun works well too. Okay. If you really want to, you don't have to, but if you really want to fix up your middle color and your top color to be lighter and darker, you can go ahead and wash out your brush and fix them up now. You could have fixed them up before, but my brush was not allowing me to transfer more paint to my canvas, so I had to dry it out a little bit. Okay, so with our birch trees, we want to use titanium white if you have it. You can use white if you have that too. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to be painting some white trees with this. We're also going to need some black, so go ahead and put some black on your palette. And then we will eventually need some red, but we're not working on the red right now, we're working on the trees. So in order to draw the trees out, let's get our size 6 flat brush. So something that looks similar to this, or size, 6. This is by Royal and Lang Nickel, I guess. Okay. I find the synthetic brushes very nice, and I like them a lot. And they don't fall out, and they stick very well. Okay, so now we're going to draw in our trees. And so taking your white on your brush, just the tip of your brush, we're going to draw our main tree in, which is going to be about right down here, right here, kind of curved. We want it bigger at the top than at the bottom. So this will be our tree in here. And when we paint it, try to paint it with a curve so that it shows that the tree has that shape. Okay, so just grab more white, fill that in. Go ahead and do tree number 2, which is going to start down here and come up to almost off the page. So we're going to have this guy basically come down like this, like that. And the same thing, we're just going to draw him out like this. So our third one is going to come from right over here, just to right over here. Just simple. So we want to do that same technique on this one. Maybe in this case you would want to use thick body paint because you do want some texture. If you notice, birch trees, they're the ones that can shed like paper almost. I don't know if you were younger and ever, I know this is horrible to say, but rip off the bark of a tree and use it as paper as a child. I know I have. Sorry guys, I know it's horrible to think about, but I was a kid. Want to remember that that tree needs to be thicker at the bottom than it is at the top. So keeping that in mind, we've done our trees. And then we're just going to let that dry for a minute, and then we'll go back over them with some white, and then we'll fill them in with our black spots. Okay, so now that we've got our 3 trees down, I'm pretty happy with them. Now would be the time to fix anything you have issues with. Say if you want this tree to be wider or this tree to be wider, you can do that. Other than that, I think I need to add another layer of white on mine specifically because it's kind of transparent with a rich color underneath it. So I'm just going to add some more white very carefully, trying to keep in that same texture sort of thing that we've created. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you don't have to do this, you can skip this step if you don't need it. If your titanium white or your white is more opaque than mine, you should be okay. And I'm just using paint, I'm not using any water. Your paintbrush holds a lot of paint, so you can tell I went down the whole tree without picking up any paint. So sometimes you can just use the paint from your brush. You don't need to pick up more paint. And if you make a little mistake, like how I went outside the line right here, try to stay inside the line, you just push your paint with a wet paintbrush. Just kind of push it back into place where you want it to go, and up here too. It's very simple. You can even scumble off some marks that you get, except if you have watermarks on your canvas, you kind of want to get those off real quick. Okay, so now, oh, I just have one more spot I want to fix, sorry. Okay, so now we are going to start in with the black little beauty marks, I guess you could call them. So in order to do this, I am using a brush that is a little bit, it's a number 2 flat brush, but it's got thick bristles, so it's a bristle brush. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try to zoom in on it. You can see how it's not flat at the end. It's got some thickness to it. And this kind of creates like a scraping effect. So you can see if you dry brushing. So we're using a dry brush technique. So pick up a little bit of black, just a little bit of black on the tips of your bristles. So you can dab it out on your palette. And then we're just going to pick a few spots, like up here. We're just going to create little blemish spots. And we're going to rake them in, sort of, like this. So those birch trees do have those black spots, or beauty spots, or whatnot. Whatever they're called, and they kind of count the entire tree, so you can kind of draw them up as you want with the dry brush. And it's really easy, and you can create it all the way up, kind of like the same sort of texturizing method, staying with those lines that we created originally. And we will make some darker ones too, and if your paint is wet, it obviously will not work. Make sure you get that white paint off your brush before you continue with the black, because then you'll get gray. We don't really want the gray spots, but if your tree is still wet, you can obviously use a hairdryer or a heat gun or any other method which will dry your canvas quicker, or you can just let it sit for about 10 minutes. And I like using this method because sometimes you push a little harder and it creates a mark, and sometimes you're just light, it won't really create some, so it's a naturally creating a gradient sort of thing, or naturally creating these marks that are like random, which is what you want. And if they're not random, if you have them going up the whole tree, that's okay too. Especially on these skinnier ones that are a little bit tougher to work with. And I'm still doing that little curve all the way up. Okay, so this part of the tree was a little wet, so I'm hoping it's dried off a little bit by now. And we can create some of these marks. Excellent. Okay. So now that we're done that, I'm going to use that same brush, wash it out, just in case you picked up any white. And we're going to create these darker age spots. So this is where our our bridges will be coming out. And so there's a few spots. So there's going to be one, oh, I've got fuzzy on my brush. Okay. So there's going to be one age spot that's about up here. So we're going to create one right up here. And it's kind of I don't know. Apparently, I'm following the Theartsherpa's method, recreating her tutorial, and she drew out little beauty marks, and you can draw them randomly throughout the tree wherever you feel that they need them. But the branches look really good coming out of these beauty mark spots, so that's what I am just recreating. And you can find her video for these birch trees under the Theartsherpa if you go to her YouTube page. And go to the Theartsherpa and then search for birch tree, maybe Cardinals. I forget the name of this video, but I'll have it down below if I remember to write it into the description area for you. Or you can just follow my tutorial or my interpretation of her video. And so then we have another age spot over here where there will be another branch. So we can also draw these in as we draw the branches. So in order to draw the branches, I'm going to grab a liner brush. So it's about a 1/2 inch long liner brush. I'm going to get it really wet and drag out some of my black paint so it looks like a water paint almost. See how liquid that is? And that's the consistency you want to create your branches. And so here's a branch here. This is going to be a simple branch. This comes out. And off the canvas. Then we can recreate her age spot right there, her beauty mark. Then we won't call them age spots, we'll call them beauty marks. And then we'll draw another branch over here that comes down like that. Maybe it'll come out this way. Then maybe I'll have another branch comes out this way. This one will have one coming this way. Maybe even that way. So you could branch out this way. And this one could come this way. Just make sure that your branch, the actual branch that comes out, is thicker than any of your other branches. So I might have to make this one a little bit thicker because that branch, a little bit of a happy mistake, I'll call it. We don't like to say any bad mistakes. They're all happy little mistakes that you can turn into something else. Okay, and then we're going to have another one. So you make sure you keep pulling out that black into that watercolor, make it very watery. Let's draw some age spots on this third tree. So we'll have one maybe over here. They're all random. And then maybe we'll have a little twiggy down here. Our age spot will be, or not our age spot, our beauty mark. And maybe I'll just come this way. Maybe this one will just come out this way. And once we get to these cardinals, you'll realize, oops, that's a big branch. So this one might have to be a really big branch. So realize why I'm doing so many sideways branches, so the cardinals can sit really easily. That can go behind the tree there. Sorry, that was with my direction that is very difficult with the way that I'm left-handed, so sorry for these ugly branches over here. But they hide behind that tree, so that's okay. Okay, so now we're going to have another branch that comes out over here. Oh, actually, let's finish up with this guy. We'll have another tree branch that comes out from this age spot. It goes like doo-doo-doo-doo. And up this way, doo-doo-doo-doo. And then this way, doo-doo-doo-doo. That was an easy one. So easy going that left way for me. So hard for going right. Okay, so now on this tree over here, we'll draw in like a little age spot right over here on this tree, and have the branch coming up and over. Oop, I gotta wet my brush. That paint's not flowing on your canvas, so go ahead and get more water. Okay, and then we'll get another one. I need some more water. Make sure that water's clean too. You don't want like a white water in your black paint, because then it'll make it sort of gray. Get another guy right here. This one will come up. So I'm just going to draw them this way, not this way. There we go. Okay, and then we'll have another one with some water in there. Down here, but we can create some age marks. I want to really do this with that other brush. I'm going to grab my other brush, that bristle brush, and create, oops, really good age marks with this. My black is a jet black, so it's very pigmented, so I have to be very careful when I touch the canvas, because the black, even watered down, has lots and lots of pigments. And that pigment, maybe I should do a little white in there, but I mean, you can always go back over it if you don't like it with the white. But the pigment is so thick, it's kind of scary to add it to the tree. And this is where your beauty marks can get more interesting and look on this tree, really. It's really the big ones that have those interesting beauty marks. I haven't seen a birch tree for a while. I'm down in Florida, where it's gorgeous outside and all, but there's no birch trees, there's no evergreens, there's no changing of the leaves in autumn. It's kind of sad. I miss it. I used to live up in New England, and now I've moved down to sunny Florida, which I love, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it here. It's just, you can't tell the seasons. It's really strange. I lose track of which month it is, because there's no indication besides it might be 70 degrees for a few days, and then you're like, oh, it must be winter. It's really weird. Okay, so now back to our branches. We're grabbing our liner brush again, making sure we're getting that black paint really wet, and we're going to draw branch going up, and a branch coming out, another branch coming out. That's excellent. And then we're going to draw, or paint, I should say. Sorry, I've been saying drawing, I mean painting. We're just going to paint a little beauty mark right here. I'm just going to have a branch coming out here and here. Okay, and then I'm going to have another branch. Sorry, I just felt like that we needed another one. And then another branch. Let's see over here. I think there's one that's needed right over here. It'll come out. Go up. I haven't really decided if I want this tree to be, well, I guess it'll be in the foreground. That tree behind it, maybe that tree behind it too. So you're going to draw your branches and they go over the tree. That's okay for this tree. We're going to create some concept of depth. Okay, and then for our next branch, we're going to have down here, I think with this H mark, or this beauty mark, sorry, I keep calling them H marks, I don't know why. Okay, and then this one is going to come up and over. Make sure your paint's nice and wet, or else it won't flow nicely. Gotta get some more water in mine. Okay, and then we'll do one more branch, I think. This one is not included in the Theartsherpa's painting, but I just feel like I need another branch going this way. Maybe there's a reason she didn't have one going this way. I'm not really sure. Everything just seems so thick. Just felt like that one needed a little one more friend. And then, honestly, this could have a little branch too, but then it'll be covered in branches and we don't want that. So now we're going to add our cardinals. So in order to do your cardinals, you'll need a bright red. So I've grabbed crimson, and you'll need some black. So keep that black on your palette if you have it, or add a little bit more. You won't need that much, just a little bit for the little beaks and the eyeballs and the legs. But just a little bit of red, not too much, just a drop. Don't waste your paint. And to do this, we are going to use your 2 flat brush. It's very small, it's very skinny, but it's a flat brush. You're going to get it wet. Tap off the excess water. Make sure you get the water on the ferrule. Most of the time the drips come from the ferrule if you ever get drips. I'm going to tap into my red. This is the red color. I'm using this bright red color. And we're going to make little bodies. So when you do this, let's see, you're going to do a little body. So we'll start with one right up here. I'm going to create a little smile. I believe that's what her method is, a little smile, little upward smile, and then this little oval on the head. And then for the tail just whips on out, so just a straight mark, whip, whip. And then for the feathers, and draw the wing up like that. That's the wing. And then we'll draw the beaks in and the legs in after. So let's try that again. So we'll have another one right here. So you're going to draw a smile. Oh, I didn't leave room for the legs, but that's okay. And then another upside down smile to meet that one. Oops, got wet paint on my canvas. You can use your pinky finger to stabilize your hand, but be careful of wet paint. Then we're going to create this little oval over here that should connect. And then we're going to do the whip out for the feathers, for the tail, and then for the wings. So I need to feel my body. My body's a little transparent. For the wings, we're just going to go up a little bit, like a little upward triangle. And so that's a little fatty, a little fat bird, so cute. Okay, so let's try that again. So smile, an upside down smile, a little dot for the head, little line for the tail, and then a little triangle upwards for the wing. Very simple. We'll have one facing the other way, so we'll do a smile, upward smile, and an oval on the other side of the head, and then the tail, which will be a little line, and then the wing, which is upside down triangle. And let's try it again over here. I mean, you could draw these in all day long. I love these. Smiles, the head, little tail, and then the wings up top. And you can draw in 50 of these, you can draw in 5 of them, you can draw in 1. It's really up to you. A little smile, upward down smile, a little oval for the head. All of mine seem to be facing that way, so we have this one facing this way. Maybe he's talking to this friend over here. Little tail, the little feathers for the wings. And then, let's see. I'm going to have one down here. This one's going to sit right here. So a little smile, up or down smile, little head, little tail feather, and a wing. And let's just fill this page up with cardinals. Okay, so a little smile, upward down smile, little head, little wing, a little tail feather I meant, and a wing. And you don't need one for every branch. You can have multiple ones per branch section. So like over here, I could do a smile, smile, a little head, a little tail feather, and then a wing. And if you're happy with that, I think I'm happy with that, we're going to go ahead and draw in little beaks. So you can use a detail liner brush. So if I, ooh, it's a spotter brush. I don't know what a spotter brush is. I don't know what half these brushes mean. I'm going to use a 0 round. This is my 0 round. It's got a very fine point. These brushes are by, I can't pronounce them. So it's a 0 round. I'm going to go ahead and get that wet. We're going to try this and see if this works. And we're going to grab a little bit of black. And for the beak, we're just doing a little sideways triangle and then a little dot for the eye. And it's that simple. So let's try that again. We'll draw in a little beak over here. And then a little eye. Very simple. Little beak. And eye. You know, this one has a rogue little fiber I wish it didn't have. I don't know if it's supposed to be there or not. I'm going to use my 0 liner brush, which I just found. I'm going to go ahead and get it wet. Tip off the excess water, pick up some black. Let's just do a little V, an eye, perfect. Little V, well, looks like a parrot, that's okay. Little V. So yeah, the more birdies you draw on there, the more difficult, or not difficult, but the more mouths and eyeballs you'll have to draw. Just keep that in mind. Now we're going to draw on the legs, which I almost forgot about. So grab some more black on your liner brush. This is a 0 liner brush, which is perfect for this. And towards the back, you're just going to draw on 2 legs. 2 little lines. Just coming down. This one could be mid-flight maybe. It's taken off. Okay, and we're done. So now you have your beautiful cardinals on your birch trees, and I hope you've enjoyed this little YouTube tutorial, and I hope you come and visit me again. My name is Kenzy Knoxx, and thanks for coming and watching my YouTube video, and hopefully we made it around the 20-minute mark. I know we're in for 15, but we might have gone over. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. Okay, bye!